Hello everyone, let's talk a little bit about battle setup sequence in Too Many Bones. The first thing you do is trigger your before battle effects and skills such as Tantrum's Rage skill. We're using Boomer, so that does not apply, and Boomer does not have any before battle effects. The next thing we do is look at our encounter card instructions to build our batty queue. In order to build a batty queue, it's an equation that's going to result in batty points. It is a equation which involves the number or day that we currently are on. So this is day number 2 in our example, and we're using 1 gear lock. So 2 times 1 is 2, giving us our batty point total of 2. Now when pulling batties, based on the point value that we're pulling, you always grab from the pile that's highest first when decreasing the value of batty points from the queue. So if we had have gotten 6 in that equation, we'd pull from the 5 first, and then the remaining 1 would come from the 1 pile. In this particular instance, we have a total of 2, so we'll pull 2 1s. Now, there is something interesting to note on this particular card and encounter that it says to add 1 5-point batty to the battle queue. So we're going to be grabbing 2 1s, which gives us our total batty points, and then this other portion of the encounter card says to grab a 5-point batty. 5-point baddies go on top of 1-point baddies, and 20s go on top of 5s. We've now created and stacked our battle queue. The next thing we do is place the top baddie from the battle queue in its appropriate lane and battle map position. This is going to include its HP, its lane marker, and its initiative die, and we continue placing baddies until there are 4 on the mat or we've run out of baddies. So we're going to go ahead and start putting those out on the mat one by one. So we'll flip over our 5-point baddie and take a look. So this particular baddie is a 6 health and will be in lane number 1. You always start with lane number 1 and then move to 2, then 3, then 4. You take a lane marker corresponding to where this baddie will go. So lane marker 1. We also look at the health value, which is 6 in this case, putting that underneath the baddie. So we need 6 health chips. And then we determine whether this is a ranged or melee baddie by looking at the icon on the card, and it is a ranged baddie, so it'll sit in the furthest back position of lane 1. Then there's also an initiative number underneath the health of 3, and that is what this die will be set to for lane number 1, and then is placed inside of the initiative meter. We then go ahead and continue pulling baddies from the queue. The next one up is going to be going into lane number 2. That's going to be right here. So we'll take our lane 2 chip, place it underneath. Look at the health value of 2, put 2 health chips underneath. Then we determine its initiative, which is 5. Take the corresponding die, setting it to 5 for lane number 2. 5 is greater than 3, and the highest initiatives always go above. It'll sit like that. Then we determine whether the baddie is melee or ranged. It is melee, so it will sit in the lane 2 melee position. Then we go ahead and we pull over the next baddie, and we can see at this one it will end up in lane 3 as it goes lane 1, 2, 3, and then 4. This one is a melee and has 3 health. We're going to be taking lane 3 marker, putting it underneath this one. 3 health tokens or chips underneath of him. And melee position, we'll put the baddie here. Then we look at the initiative die. The initiative die shows 3. Now at this point we'd have 2 individuals at 3, so which one goes first? It's always the one with the lane 1 and then downwards. So lane 1 takes priority, then 2, then 3, then 4. At this point our battle queue is now completely empty, so we're done in terms of adding any more baddies. Now we move over to rolling for the gear lock initiative dice and adding them to the meter. So we're going to go ahead and take our initiative die for Boomer, rolling it to determine where in the initiative meter we should sit. We rolled a 4, so we'll be placed right in the middle. For any ties against any baddies, the gear lock will always go before the baddie. We then place our gear locks from the prep area onto the battle mat in appropriate positions. So this particular gear lock is showing range. There's also melee, and there's also melee ranged gear locks. Being a ranged character with 3 health, as it denotes up here, we are able to put ourselves in any one of these 4 locations, and maybe because we're playing Boomer for distance, we'll sit in the far back corner. We then make sure that our round counter is set to 1, which it is, so we're okay there, and we trigger any start of battle effects and skills such as Pickett's shield wall innate ability, but there is none here with Boomer. The next thing we're going to go ahead and do is just resolve the last piece of the encounter and be sure to read all of the wording within the encounter choice that you've chosen before you begin your battle. In this case, it says place 5 HP on your prep area to use as a health buff for this battle. So this battle was made a little tougher because it added a 5-point batty, but it is also giving you a 5 HP buff before the battle begins. At this point, you're ready to go. You're ready to battle, and each unit will now take its turn, starting with the top initiative spot. In this case, it will be the Griffin Yearling.